Hey everybody, welcome back to Studying the Masters with Alicia Dianne, and we are going back into Zootopia. So welcome. If you'd like, you are free to sketch along with me, take some notes if you feel anything that I'm making is noteworthy, but we'll see. We'll just have to see how this goes. All right, I'm going to go and check back in with where we made it so far with this study painting of this concept work from Zootopia, the first one. And we have Nick Wilde here. We have him like in this office space. I was blocking in colors yesterday. I think I'm gonna block in a couple of more. I really want to start getting into detail. I don't like to spend too much time on these study pieces, just because they are for just to kind of get familiar with how the work is being done. But I want to give it a good shot anyway. So let's see what we can get done today. I'm glad to be with you guys on this. What is it? I was about to say Wednesday, but it's a Thursday. It's a Thursday. All right, so let's see. I have all of my background colors in here. I might just go ahead and move some of these. I need to have Nick behind the desk, first of all. And so I'm going to move his sketch also behind the desk. Even though that's just his rough sketch, I still want to have it so that I'm not losing where things are supposed to be. All right, so I'm just going to put this as color instead of background color. All right, so let's see, where do I want to start off today? I think I want to get in first a couple of the other just elements of the room. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to grab my pen back again, and let's see which brush I'm working with. I'm going to need to pull back up that color palette we made yesterday so that we can keep all of our colors consistent. We don't want to get things going too far left or whatever. So I'm going to pull these up. Let's go ahead and pull this, and I'm going to use, I want it to be like this, but maybe, no, let's see. Let's go in here and use something like this. So I'm going to block in some of these pieces over here. Let me see, maybe I can actually use a bit of this. And I might need to just vary it a little bit with where I'm placing them, because I want to put some in at different colors so that they're not all mixing together. Even though I'm going to shade them and everything, I still want to have a placeholder that feels like I'm getting things in. And I know that I'll need to go ahead and change the orientation of it so I can give these little boxes here some depth and perspective. Let's see. Move that over. So actually, I'll move that last one. I'm going to check the original reference to make sure that I'm staying at least a little bit accurate. And the room is so dark, it's kind of hard to see sometimes like what is exactly happening, but I think I can get an idea anyway. So let me go ahead and use my polygonal one for the next set of shapes. And I might adjust the first ones just to get them a little bit more, oops, looking like they belong with this. Let's see. Probably should have done that from the beginning. But that's how you figure things out. It's like, all right, where do I want to place things? You know what, maybe I'll just make this one this color so I can just go back and forth. Between these two colors, and then be adding some detail in there afterward. I just want to block in these shapes as fast as I can. I think maybe I tried initially to block it in a little too fast, but that's alright, because I'm figuring it out as I go. Some of these types of stories can really be great inspiration, because you don't have to copy the story, and I don't think you should copy anybody's story like, verbatim, but you can use some of these films that come out as just a launching point for inspiration for whatever it is that you're thinking of making. So, I mean, it's always a good idea, I think, to just watch some of these films just to learn from them, just to kind of get an idea, like, what type of stories that interest you the most, what type of stories you feel like are interesting to people around you, your friends and your family. It can just get you inspired to say, all right, well, I want to incorporate something that I learned from this film somehow. One of the things I noticed about it was the pacing of animation is a lot faster than it used to be. I know majority of that is because of children's and especially young people's attention spans, and that was one thing that I kind of talked about with my son. He's right in the Gen Z age group. I know, I feel like I'm a millennial, so I feel like saying Gen Z makes me sound even older. But anyway, all right, so these are these little box piles here. There's a lot of this sort of color scheme going out throughout this whole book. I wonder why they use like these. Maybe they're just trying to use like earth tones. I think there was a bit of earth tone involvement with like the concept work. I mean, I see a few that are different, like have some pastels. Maybe that's like more with the Judy Hopps. You see more of the pastels in the work, and that's kind of the good thing about doing this type of study, because then you start to see, oh, when are they using these types of colors? When are these colors coming up? And then I just noticed that, like, with Judy, there's a lot more of those pastel colors, and I'm assuming that's like giving that, you're giving the idea, or like sort of like the subliminal idea of like an Easter bunny, that Easter type of colors, which is kind of funny, because you wouldn't think that, they would go that deep into it, but it works that way. Definitely darker. Huh. Alright, so let me try this again. That's a little better. Alright, so there's boxes there. I'm going to put most of these boxes on a separate layer. There's just so much clutter. But, that's a good thing, because, when I was working on a short film over the summer, one of the things that they were requesting for the design is that there be lots of clutter. And actually, there was another film that I worked on just before that. So I had 2 short films that I worked on this year, and both of the producers were asking for a lot of clutter in the room. So even though it can seem like, oh gosh, like why am I doing like all of this repetitive stuff, this could be what your client is asking for. You really need to be able to, I think especially too with in animation, there's always going to be a character that's kind of, I don't know, doesn't have everything together. And it doesn't mean that they're a bad character at all. It could just mean that, maybe they're an artistic type. Maybe they're a busy mom. They could be a teenager that's just got a lot on their plate. So there could be a lot of reasons why the character might have a bunch of clutter around. But I think it's good to practice, because one of the things that I didn't realize until I started doing it is like, well, what the heck am I supposed to put, you know, in this cluttered room? I really don't know, and it makes you start to think about it. I don't know why this character has so many boxes. It could be just because of his personality. Maybe these are all like schemes. I don't know. Maybe he's I don't know. Why would he have all these boxes? It could be just that he's just have a bunch of stuff that he doesn't want to deal with. Maybe it's things from his past. I don't know. There's got to be a reason why he's got all this clutter around. Okay, I've got to move this actually behind him. So what did I do? I mean to move this under there. There. And I think I'm going to make that last one a little bit darker, because it's blending in a little too much with the floor. Okay, so boxes, let's see. Boxes, left, back. Boxes, right, and all right, so how else can, all right, he's got a couple more piles of this stuff. I'm going to try and simplify it. All right, so it's not so overwhelming. Let's see. He's got this, but it's also like, let's see, I'm going to extend this a little bit. Because he has something else there. So I'm just going to extend this area. Let's see if that's the right color that I used before. Okay, that seems good. All right, there's also going to make just some of the other stuff that's over here. Let's see. He's got like a bucket of paint right here. Why? I don't know. He just has a bucket of paint. Make that handle a lot darker so you can actually see it. Sometimes you might have to just work with what you have. And I think I want to go back over here and make this little area let's see, let's make this darker. Or maybe, you know what, I'll do it like this because I'm worried about where it falls. So I'll make it a clippy mask because I didn't want to extend it. Okay, perfect. All right, there's that. All right. Let's see, where do I want to go now? I think I'm going to go ahead and make some more of these. And I think I'm going to simplify them a little bit for this next part because I don't want to be making boxes all day. So I'm just going to break this into one bigger shape, and I think I'll just make my according changes. I don't know if this is behind that desk. No, it's not. So I'll have to make sure that it doesn't interact in the wrong way with that. And I sent out a newsletter yesterday about, let's see, about where you are in your creative journey and what you might struggle with now. So it's basically like a little poll. And if you're interested, like you obviously may not be on my newsletter, but you might be interested in just taking it and just seeing where you are. Yeah, feel free to message me and let me know that, you know, you want to learn more about it or you want to take just a survey. That's fine too. And I can help you out with that. You can just pop me a message and I'm open for that. All right, so there's that. I'm gonna do another pile behind it. Maybe I'll just make it darker. So undo that. Let's see. Maybe I should make it lighter, or just maybe I'll make it this color because it's not that dark. And maybe I'll just go back to this one and make it a little bit lighter. Okay, I think that'll work. And I'll need to adjust for this desk. Let's see, maybe I should bring the desk up. Yeah, let's bring the desk and this stuff up. I don't know why I made that stuff behind it. Probably just because, you know, especially in the room it would be, but for the sketch, for the painting, the desk needs to be up front. All right. Nice name. All right, so let's see, what do we need to do? All right, there's a little bit more clutter we got to take care of. So let's go ahead and do that. I mean, at least it's mostly the same thing. It's not like it's a bunch of different things. That's when you have to just be creative, I think, in finding what that character would be interested in. And I think you can get a lot of references. I wish I would have done this before when I was actually having to do it. Let's see. Like looking specifically for clutter and like maybe for that age group. I don't know if you necessarily want to look up hoarding. I mean, you could. Maybe you can get some ideas. But looking up clutter and looking up the age group can help. Like things that a teenager would have around their room is much different than things that a 40-something would have in their clutter. And if they're like an artist, they're always going to have some type of clutter. And maybe you can pick something that feels appropriate for that character. That's too dark. All right. And maybe just like, since this side is darker, I'm just going to make a clipping mask to make it easier for myself. Like that. Delete. And just a little bit lighter. Delete. And this little area. I feel like that should be a little bit lighter. And this one is also darker. Maybe just a little bit lighter than that one is. And then we have some stuff in the middle, so select that. All right. I think I'll leave that box as that is. And I wonder if I can just flatten that down. That's fine. Okay. What about this one? Can I just flatten it? Good. Okay, so that makes my layers a little bit easier. All right, let's see. A little bit more clutter stuff. It's like a cell phone. Not a cell phone. What am I talking about? It's one of those rotary phones. Don't know why I said cell phone. Oh, which of these? All right, so I think it's in front of that. It's like a big rotary phone. There we go. And let's see, it's that blue color again. You see, they're using a limited color. Like even, oops, as I'm talking about it, they're using like, it's more desaturated. Oh. It just makes it more cohesive. It makes everything like feel more cohesive when you're using a limited color palette. Like I said, you can go up and down with like the, oops, the saturation and everything, but keeping it simple actually makes it more appealing. And I want to do like a series of videos on animation. Oops. Animation animation principles. Let's see. Because, you know, one of the things that I did for a while that I really want to get back to, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to get back to it because I don't have an outlet yet to get back to it. But I was teaching kids, like, you know, what age were they? Junior high school age. I was teaching them traditional animation, and I really enjoyed doing that. And I want to find a way to do that again and really teach kids storytelling. I realize I miss it a lot. I miss my students. I resisted teaching for a long time because I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm a teacher. But I like teaching about what I'm passionate about, and I'm really passionate about animation. And even about just talking, even just like the whole storytelling aspect of it all, I just love it so much. And I really want to find out how to do it more often and in a way that's going to make a difference, because that's really important to me, is that I'm actually doing something that people are benefiting from. I've had very bad luck with jobs in my past, let me be honest. I don't know why. I don't know. I think I just was finding my footing. I didn't know like how to fit in, or if I think maybe I was trying to fit in and I just didn't work out well. I just like, I don't know. I think I doubted myself too much. But I really want a chance to, oh, I'm still in the clipping mess. No wonder why this is acting weird. I'm still in the clipping mess error. Alright. Alright, so let's see. Alt delete. Good. What happened? What happened? There. I don't know what I did. I think I pushed deselect instead of fill. I think that's what I did. Alright. Ugh, what am I doing? Alright, let's see. These shapes are wonky, but I can fix them when I'm adding detail. I think you can get carried away in the beginning with trying to like get everything right. But I think it's a good idea to block things in, and then you can start adding detail on top of it. Because especially when you have a lot of stuff going on, you don't want to get too distracted with stuff. You know? Boxes right, boxes, boxes. Let's see. I'm gonna start adding some stuff on this side too, because I know this side is a little bit neglected. It's like a picture frame here. I probably should have like cleaned up my rough sketch a little bit more though. That's one thing I'll say. I think I should have cleaned up my rough a little bit more before I started coloring, but that's all right. It's a study sketch. When you're doing your final, when you're doing like work to sell and everything, I would go ahead and clean it up. That's usually what I do. I don't know why it just kind of, maybe because I haven't painted in a minute. So it feels like I haven't painted in a minute. Let's see. I should want to fill this in a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Let me see. Maybe I'll try that one. Just go over it. Let's go in here. Let's see. There's like a little picture sketch of like his parents. So let's go ahead and draw it. I wasn't planning actually on doing any of the painting for this particular studying the masters. I think I was mostly just gonna do like sketches, which I will, but I don't know, something intrigued me to go a little further. And I think actually, let me make the heads bigger. Their heads are a lot bigger than their body. And I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. Let's see how this works. And even make their eyes even a little bit bigger. And let's see, the original artist for this one is Matthias Lechner. So just want to give that nice person credit for the original drawing. This is a great way too to find other artists, because I'm always, I have my favorite like designers and such, but it's always like from film to film, there's always like people who are maybe were on there for one film and they might have left, or whatever. So I think it's a good idea to go through these, and you can do like some study sketches, and then you can also learn about all the different artists who are there as well, because I wouldn't be reading all these names. Even when I look through it, I don't read the names necessarily. I just kind of look at the artwork, and maybe if something really stands out, that's when I'll look at the names. But when you go through these books, these art of books, I mean, particularly with studios, obviously, if it's one artist, there's going to be one artist typically. But if you're doing study sketches from like a feature film or like a, yeah, I don't know if they have these for series, but they might. But then that way you can really learn about who the different artists are that are being featured. I think it's a great way to learn about other artists in the field and see like the varying different styles that might be assigned to even just one character. Like I'll see several different like takes on one character design, and I think it's pretty cool just to see all the differences, how they approached it, and which one actually finally gets selected, because obviously that's the one that makes it to the final cut. But I think it's a good way to kind of just see that process played out in real time. Okay. Let's see. So their ears is a little bit wider. Trying to find that right green for him. Very good. Okay. And this one has like pink, so I'm guessing it's mom and dad or something like that. Or maybe Nick himself with an ex-girlfriend. I don't know. I doubt that. It looks too family oriented. Maybe Nick had a whole other life. I don't know. Just saying. You never know. But you can think about, I mean, think how fun just doing that is. Like thinking of ideas for characters, what their life was like before the movie, or what their life even, might have been like if something, that is the basis of what like fan fiction does. But you can do that. You can start to think about what would be some type of an alternate path for one of these characters, or what if they had other stuff going on other than what was happening that we saw in the film. I think that's a really interesting way to look at stories. It can help you to get ideas. It can help you to just brainstorm and think outside the box a little bit. Let's see, I'm gonna make one more. I'm just gonna do like a dark, see, I can stay in this actually a little smaller and just kind of pencil in. Oh, that's too big still. Redo. Alright, let's make this just a little bit smaller though. Hopefully it's not too small. You can still just get a little bit of detailing for this portrait back here. This is actually pretty neat. I did a couple. I was wondering for a second if I had done any like full illustrations from the animation for this studying the master series, and I remembered that I did do that a lot actually for Hayao Miyazaki when I was looking at his work and work from his studio. So Yeah. So there we go. I can get a little bit of a smile in. Right. Okay, that's cute. Let's see, let's throw that away. Oops, I threw the wrong layer away. Throw this away. And I can merge that down. I'm not going to be messing with it like that. And let's see if we can get a couple more details in this. Take that off. I'm gonna actually, let's select the inverse. Select inverse so we can just mess with that frame a little bit. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of detail. Select inverse and make a quick mask. So that way it will really just be on the frame. Make this a little bit smaller. Keeping it simple. And I think I'll go a little bit darker for under here. Okay. Let's merge that down. Alright. So let's see, there's actually some more a little bit more of an interesting sort of a thing happening over here. And let's see. Put it on alpha lock for a second. And grab this color here. Just give it a little bit more of a tint in here. Now I think I'll merge that down. Alright, let's start to draw a couple of things that are also on this little desk. Or this little storage bin. No space for everything, but let's make... Right. Kind of a drawer here. And even a little bit more saturated than that. Alright, let's see what else we can add. be some like little, there's like some little jars, so let's see. One bigger one, and it's not even in the exact same spot. The orientation is a bit different in the original one, but I think it's all right just for what we're doing. For what we're trying to accomplish, I believe it's just fine. All right. What else? Maybe just one more that's kind of barely showing. Just so we don't have that empty space sort of. All right. Also, other things we can put, like a storage bin. Let's see, this one's gonna need to come down a little bit. Oops, shit. Let's see. Oops. There we go. And let's make that almost like a grayish light color. Make a clip your mouse really quick. A little bit more red actually. Actually, trying to get that color I'm looking for. I think that works. It's not so perfect either. Let's make it a little bit more. Okay, let's see, what else are we trying to do over here? Can put something. Oh, this is a chair. Okay, what else can I add? Like some paper. I'm gonna try and find where this thing is. These boxes here. I'm not sure where they are. Oh, I think this is just for that part of the desk. Oops. Okay. So actually we will have a couple of things in front of the desk and one more I think behind it. Let's go ahead and do that really fast. Let's make, there's just like some, okay, and let's make some more. That's one paper roll. Let's make some more papers. One over here. I could put another one over here behind the desk. Just to give some sense of depth, better sense of depth. Where's the chair? I thought this was behind the chair. Maybe not. So maybe I can move this further down. Hopefully that doesn't ruin everything. Alright, let's see if it messes with anything. I think it's still fine. Alright, we have lots of clutter. We have our boxes. I think I'm just going to add one more. Well, I have this stuff on top of the desk and all that. But as far as the rest of the room goes, I think I want to add in this stand that's over here. I think it should be a little bit more red. It's not much difference, but it's a little bit. Okay. Let's see. I think we got a lot done so far. That's pretty good. There's definitely a whole lot more than what's there before. Alright, so I think I'd like to still opacity there. Let's turn it down to 30 maybe. And where's his sketch? It's over here. I'm gonna make another one. Let's zoom in. And I want a pencil that's, I think, a little bit, let's see if I have a pencil that's a little bit less perfect pencil. Let's see if that's actually what it says it is. Let's see. Use, I'm going to take this down a little bit. It's a 50. It's a little bit too clean for me. I don't like that. I don't like it to be too clean. Let me see, maybe if I put it on dissolve, maybe that will give it what I want. That's a lot better. I wonder if I put that on too. Don't know if I needed that second pressure brush on. Let's take that off. Let me put that one on. There's so many options, aren't there? The original image has him in black line, or like very dark lines, so that's why I'm doing it over in this way. I'm gonna keep his very foxy nose. Let's see. I'm going to schedule my posting times. I think I'll do an Eventbrite post. I know, like, I have not had the best reputation with being consistent on here, and that's what I want to change. I honestly don't have a private studio space to record. That's been challenging because I'm like trying to, I don't have a private space to record, so I mean that's definitely been getting in the way a lot. So I'm just trying to, make the necessary adjustments, telling family what I'm doing, let them know I need to I need to have some private time sometimes just to be able to get this done. So bear with me. I am an ever evolving work in progress. That is one thing I can assure. This face actually doesn't go that far. Let's see if I can actually make him a little bit less square there. It's actually adjust the shape of his hair just a little bit. I don't like this lip thing. It's kind of in the first one, but I don't like it. So I'm gonna take that out. Maybe just add a little. hopefully his eyes are aligned. I don't know how to toggle how to toggle like the canvas flip without flipping the whole canvas, which I don't want to do. I want to be able to just toggle back and forth with the view. I know there must be an option to do that, but I don't know how to do that. Maybe you have to just Google it and see what that option is. I'm adding just a little bit more detail than the original sketch, because that's kind of the point of when you're doing like your clean line. I'm going to just do clean line only, just kind of finding areas for improvement. Just like with his hair shape over there, I think that really needed to be done. I have to adjust the what is it called? Change this just a little bit so it can look like a rolled up sleeve. And then I'm going to give myself some lunch after this because I didn't eat breakfast and I'm kind of hungry. I also need to go work out because I didn't do that today either. I've been so caught up in like the book edits for Jetty Story 2, like formatting. It's like I'm trying to find the file for the first book where I plugged it into the Pages document, but I can't find it like anywhere, and it's so frustrating when I'm looking for files and I can't find it. I try to be like really organized in my files, but no matter what, something always gets lost just because there's so many files. Something always ends up getting lost for a time anyway, and then I'll find it and then I'll be like, oh, I should have put this in this other place where it makes sense instead of in this place where it makes absolutely no sense at all. So that's like a ever never-ending story. Like, oh, that didn't make sense. That's my life. Okay, well, I hope that I can. I didn't even know. His feet aren't showing in the original, but I have them showing here. And then like his little, I like giving him a little paw feet, because I think it's cute. So I'm gonna do it because I can. I mean, the thing with this is just like you're doing it to learn. You're doing it for fun. So I think it's okay to play with it a little bit, you know? I mean, yeah, you want to learn as much as you can, so stay relatively close and pay attention to things, but also like enjoy it, have fun, don't take it more serious than you need to, because then you probably won't be doing it again, or as much as you could potentially do it if you enjoyed it, if you made it like a fun process. So make it kind of fun. And I'll be honest, I don't sketch very much on Photoshop anymore. I'm almost completely on iPad nowadays. So this is a throwback for me. But it feels pretty natural. I like this. Once the dissolve is on, I like this brush. Works well. I don't like it when it's too clean. It doesn't look, I don't know, it feels too computery for me. So I like it to have a little bit of roughness. sketchiness. Sketch art is my favorite art. Alright, so let me go back into the block and alter this stuff that's happening. What is that? Oops. Alright, so let's see. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to alpha lock it. Let's see, alpha lock. I keep forgetting it's not on those options. Alright, so let me see if I can block his color in really fast. And when you have it on alpha lock, it gives you that flexibility to go pretty fast. Let's see. Let's go fast. I think I'm going to, let's see, oops. What color is the bottom of his tail? This is like a cream color. You reminded me of tails for a second. this color orange. This shade of orange feels very tails-like. Maybe even a little bit more cream. More gray. Alright, he's got like his eyes. And I'm really just blocking in flat color here. Nothing fancy, really simple stuff. He has a secondary color that's coming through here. Just want to get it as accurate as I can. I think it's going through here. And grab this color and then make it a little bit lighter. A little bit lighter still. Alright, let's save this. And actually go back on the sketch and get that black color again. Can really see some more of the detail with the black, so I'll keep that. And I'll alter the shape so that's you can see it better. So that matches. So back here. Is that the right layer? That's not the right layer. Oh, I should have known. Something's up. There. getting all these text alerts. Alright, so let's see. Alright, let's see what else we need to do here. I think I'll block this in, his shirt. It's like this. There. And his tie is like dark blue. Alright, let's get that blue in. And that thing around his neck is almost gray. Darker gray. I think it's too blue looking. Let's see. Using the right color. It's too light. Still feels like it looks blue. Maybe it's just my, maybe my mind is off. And this thing is like a light gray. And it has like a, just for, to make it a little bit better, let's make that darker. A little green light on there. I guess he's, you know, in house arrest or whatever. Alright, let's see. How is he looking? Where's my original sketch? And where is my second sketch? I turn it on. Let's see. I'll block in this thing on his tooth. Just gonna call it a thing. Alright, very pale yellowish. Alright, there's definitely shadow and stuff in his eyes that I need to change. Just gonna see if there's anything else I want to change before we pack up for the day. I think let's go in here. His eyes a little bit more round. Let's go in here. And see. I know he's definitely got a lot more shadow and all of that, but we're gonna have to save that for later. Oops. Let's see. Oops. That off. Well, I think we're good to go for today. I think that was a lot of progress. I think maybe let's just I know, get like hooked in a block. Let's go ahead and change that ear color a little bit. Make it more brown. The inside. Let me see if I can get a painting brush. If I can remember what brush I was using. Let's see. It's not the brush I had before, but it's not bad. And let's go here actually to fix that. That should be where his eyebrow is. And make his actual eyebrows stand out a bit more. No, I'll leave that for now. Probably will need to adjust one or two things with his eye, but I think I'll leave it for now. All right, y'all. I think that's where we're gonna call it for today. We made a lot of progress. There's a lot more done, but we still have a bit of a ways to go. Let's see what we can do and get this done so we can move on to some more sketching. I hope that you enjoyed this time studying the masters. I had a great time with you, and I'm gonna see you real soon. All right, so until I see you then, be grateful, live balanced, be yourself, do lots of drawings, get inspired, write some stories, and I will see you in the next one. All right, see you then. Bye bye.